Hey, what's up, everybody? It's been quite a while since I've made a video on this channel, sometime, and this is going to be sort of a rambly video about what's been going on with me and a little bit about what's been going on, in my opinion, games industry lately, and just want to sort of, whoever out there is listening, whoever this is, um, that's not your jam, that's fine. Unscripted, unedited, unplanned, planned a little bit. Let's get into it. I just want to open this up with talking about how I feel about the games industry. Start, and I guess a little bit of caveat. Who am I? I am just a regular dude who wants to games, who has been making games for about none of which have been released, none of which you have ever heard about, would care about. Just trying to get to that point where I can use as much stuff as possible with the limited amount of time that I have. It's enough for me for right. We'll get more later. But I have this image up here of a bunch of chefs in a kitchen. I'm sure you've heard the phrase "too many cooks in the kitchen." And the reason I have this up is because think about the games industry right now. There's a lot of, as far as like AAA and quote unquote quadruple A, as you might put it. In my opinion, in my opinion, opinion, opinion. Feel free to disagree with me as you want. Um, Not saying I'm right about this or anything, but as far as AAA goes, and this is not counting, kind of double A or indie stuff, because there's some really fun stuff area right now. It seems like there's a lot of like middle management and a lot of people who are perhaps not passionate about making games, or maybe they're not passionate about the game that they're making. Also got a lot of too much oversight, too much bloat, too much of just people involved who probably don't need to be there, looking over every single piece of thing that goes into the game or whatnot. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I have not personally, I have not worked in the industry. A lot of this is speculation. A lot of this is based on the results of these games and things you've things you and I have heard for decades now about working in the games industry. I mean, this sort of thing goes back to the 90s. Complaints, industry working people about these publishers and other people getting involved. And as time has gone on, we've gotten more games have gotten more complicated, and there has required people. And so, what happens when you have more people is that people feel like they need more managerial staff to go over those people and make sure that everyone's on track. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, if you want to expand and grow, you're going to need a lot more people in general. So, it makes sense, I guess, to have people managing them. I guess. Not sure again what the what the actual results are, and people vary so much, so who knows what's actually going on. But I think there's a lot of people involved in making a game from start to finish that are passionate for whatever reason in making that game, or perhaps they're passionate in ways that detract from the overall quality of the game or the vision of the game. And I don't want to name any games in particular. If I do mention one, it's not really I'm not really attacking or defending whatever game that is. But I've been a fan of certain franchises for a long time. For some of these franchises, I'm sure many of you have been games that might be. And it just feels like lately they haven't really been hitting the mark on these games, and they've been really uninspiring, not really, not really that interesting. Like they get down like visual aspects, they get down certain things like that. But I think as far as like an engagement level, I'm not really feeling it with these games, and that's not to say that I'm like only nostalgic for old games and I only want to play old games. No, that's not really the case. There's been a lot of recent games that have released from varying quality that I have really enjoyed. So it's just some of these games that I'm a particular fan of is just not really hasn't really been hitting the mark, so to speak. Said it really does boil down to I think too many cooks in the kitchen. We see, for example, Expedition 33 that released recently has garnered a lot of attention. I haven't played it myself and I haven't really looked at any of it. I've just been hearing a lot of things about it, and people feel generally positive about it, so that's awesome. I'm currently not really interested in playing a turn-based game, and I know there's a lot of active elements to that game, but I still, not really care that much to put my time into a turn-based sort of narrative type game. It's not really what I'm interested at the moment right now to play. Most of the time, I'm playing like sort of like action games, kind of things. But regardless, I think there's the particular franchises that I think what happens is that they try to get as broad of an audience as possible, and they're doing it for a couple reasons. One is a financial reason. And the other reason I think is, which is a good reason to do so, and I don't think it's bad to want money. Um, there's a line where you cross into like greed territory where you're being predatory. But I think they want to like broaden their audiences for these games. And again, I'm going to preface this again in the middle here. In my opinion, they want to broaden their audience, and I don't think that's inherently a bad thing. Think I think that's a good thing. Want to broaden your audiences, but what ends up happening to these games is that they broaden the audience by adding like story elements and like maybe like side content to like an existing franchise or an existing IP or existing fan base. And they add like these story elements or narratives that are more generally appealing. Like if you have an action game and you add more story elements to it involved, and those people come in and they're like, "Oh, this is really awesome. This is cool. I like this. This game has a cool feel, cool lore. I like the story." Old, um, the old fan base can also enjoy that stuff. Like, "Oh, this is really cool that they added all this story and stuff." But what ends up happening is that they double dip into the whole broad appeal thing, which I believe personally is a mistake, to where they remove elements to the game that were compelling. They kind of smooth out the rough edges in like the design or the combat or the tension in the game, and they things like add a lot of checkpoints, add a lot of healing stuff, remove a lot of the stuff that danger to the player or like make the player frustrated at certain times, like boss or this and that. They sort of like smooth out those rough edges, make the more appealing to the person who's just sort of like there for the story, which I think is a disservice to not only the person who got your game to play the story, but also more so to the foundational audience that you have who came from your other titles. It's like they're coming into this new game and they're expecting you to raise the bar in that aspect because they've beaten your old games, they've played your old games, they love your old games. In some cases, they've even mastered your old games, and I'm not saying you have to design your game for the masters. Maybe you could put a little something in there for them somewhere. But if these people are really passionate about you, they're expecting you to raise the bar. all right, I beat your game. This is the game number 3 or game number 4. Raise the bar. Show me what's cool. And then you give it to them, and it's like a wet noodle is tickling their legs. And they're like, well, this isn't really that engaging. I'm not feeling anything here. I'm not feeling tension. I'm not feeling a pull in the game. All my actions feel like they don't really matter. Like if I have 50 options and all of them do the same thing no matter what scenario I'm in, well maybe 50 is a lot. Maybe let's break it down to 10. If I have 10 options in like an action game and all 10 of them kind of do similar things and they all sort of play the same way, or if you have like characters, different characters, and all the characters operate in the same manner, like have different visually it's different, you know, but as far as like the game goes, it's like there isn't really much of a difference here. Nothing that I do feels like it matters. Like my choices aren't impacting the game that much. Then you know you start to feel sort of like a stagnation. You might get bored with the game. Personally, like I might turn it off. Then and there, if I'm not feeling hooked, like if I don't feel that hook right away, I'm I'm getting bored real quick. Like that's not to say like I have like a bad attention span. I'm just for entertainment purposes. This is starting to sound this is starting to sound like schizophrenic. Like for my engagement, it needs to be on right away. I need to feel it. I need to go 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 go. Like if I start a game and there's like a cutscene and there's another cutscene, talk to an NPC. I haven't beat anybody up yet. If I'm playing like an action game, no. I need something. Give me something. You know, give me something to chew on, like a dog. I need a bone. Um, but yeah, these games aren't really hitting the mark anymore. I think they double dip into these like broad appeal things. I think they just need a single dip into broad appeal stuff. So add the story mode. People engage in that way. Also, like expand the core gameplay of the game. Like later on in the game, at the deeper end, maybe add some side content that's really hard or something for your legacy fans. Just it just seems like they're they're like forgetting their old audience or just assuming that their old audience will just accept it or go play their old stuff if they care that much. I don't know. It just feels sort of I feel like an abandoned child. Where did my parents go? They were to be here to pick me up at 3. That sort of thing. It just you go in expecting something and it's let down. And sometimes some of these games are letting me down in ways that just have made me apathetic towards the whole thing, and even in some cases like the company in general. But I think that's where I'll leave that rant section. Um, if you're on this channel, maybe you know I've been working on this game for a couple years now. I've been making sprite-based games since where'd that guy go? I've been making like sprite-based games and stuff from like over almost 10 years ago, and I've slowly been learning, getting more knowledge and proficiency, and um, shit. My lights just flickered. Oh, scary. Everything's still on. Um, more proficiency, more ability, create assets and art and scripts somewhat. And I've just been learning for about almost 10 years, I would say, maybe even 10 and a half at this point. Let me just show you a little bit of what what we have here. This is if you've seen any other videos on this channel, you might recognize this a little bit maybe. But this is all broken right now. It's in quite a broken mess. but I'm just kind of showing off some of these assets we have here. So I had been working on this since before COVID, and this was a time before COVID and during COVID, and maybe like a year after COVID or so. I had a lot of free time to work on a lot of this stuff, and this is just some of the stuff in here in this scene. But I had a lot of free time to work on this stuff, and personally, I don't think this stuff looks great right now. I was gonna fix this up a little bit. Controller's not plugged in, so I can't use my controller. But I was essentially making a like an action RPG game, and my buddy was helping me with a lot of the scripts. And I shut down the Discord this morning. There weren't a lot of people in there, and I haven't posted in there in a year, and that's my fault entirely. I had been pretty much after COVID. I ran out of savings, and the game wasn't anywhere being complete. If I had hunkered down for a couple months, I might have been able to get together some kind of vertical slice and have that as like a promotional material or something. But I think the way things are going right now, I think I have to I have to work within my scope of what I'm able to do. And right now, working full time, um, it's cut down my free time by about more than half. So I went from having, let's do some math. I think I used to take like one or 2 days off a week usually, but we'll do two for. Well, let's do one, I guess. Let's do 1.5 days off. So let's do some math here. Sorry, this is a unscripted, unedited video here. So I would work like, say, average 12 hours a day. 12 times 6 point, I don't know, 0.5? 12 times, let's do 12 times 5.5. So 5 days and a half. 12 times 5.5. I can't do math, don't blame me. So is that 66 hours? Let's say that's 60 hours, roughly. 60 hours a week, usually, during that time. Especially during, like, the COVID time, and I was learning a lot. I was getting a lot done. Obviously, that wouldn't be my full time all the time. Like, I think there was like a couple Path of Exile leagues I played, and I put, hunkered down into that for a little while. It's a big distraction. But overall, I was, putting in a lot of time. And now that I'm working full time for the past couple years, I tried to do more. I tried to put in time. There were certain weeks where I didn't even have one day to sit down and do stuff. So that pretty much slowed everything down to a halt. And then at some point I moved. This was like 10 months ago. Moved, and my bills went up. So my bills went up. My oh, my voice is cracking talking about it. My bills went up, and my free time shrank, and also what little free time that I did have, I spent it sleeping because this place that I had moved into, there was no windows of any kind, so I would wake up in the morning and it would be pitch black in the apartment and just go right back to sleep. Just completely not motivated at all for about 9 months. And I moved in this place here that I am now about a month and a half ago. My bills have shrank. I've got windows now. I've got light in my eyes. I wake up in the morning and get right out of bed, and it's been really, really nice for me so far. It's been a lot better for my health. And I just kind of want to showcase this animation that I have here playing. It's like sort of this enemy that I had, and I had sort of been working on this complex rig where I can kind of modify this jaw a lot and sort of exaggerate the motion and stuff. And this is like stuff I really wanted to showcase in this project, and uh, I have some good news and some bad news about it, essentially. But so now I'm in this place now. My bills have shrank, but I'm still working a lot to pay off some debt. Fortunately, so I'm still working just as much, and so my travel time to work is an hour back and forth. So it's a lot of time I spent road, 2 hours a day every day that I work, and then it's another 8 hours every day. So my free time is really diminished completely still, unfortunately. But hopefully in a month or two, I can resolve that. We can have more free time, and that's the good news. But the bad news is that this project right here is that it even if I did have all that free time, I feel like I've been working on this for too long, and what it's going to take to finish it is gonna take too long. I also I'm also not convinced that because it's an RPG, action RPG, so there's a lot of stuff, and it would take a long time. I'm not sure if I could do it all. I thought I thought I was able to when I had all that free time, and quite possibly it might have been able. I might have been able to do that with a little bit of help when I did have all that free time, 60 hours a week or so. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. But realistically speaking, the most I think I'll be able to cut down as far as working a real job goes is, and I don't get paid much, so whatever. It's gonna be like 3 days a week, so I'll have 4 days a week where I can work on projects and stuff, which is good, but it's not 60 hours. That'll be 12 times 4 is, well, that's not bad. 48. 40 to 48 hours, which will be nice. But I'm going to put that energy, because I really don't think that's enough time for me to finish this like game. But I'm going to be taking a lot of what I've made here, so it's not all going in the trash. Like a lot of these assets here, I'm going to be reworking them into another project that's not an RPG, and it's a more linear concept. Um, been working on some models. Started working on some models last month for this, and a lot of scripts that I have here are still very useful thanks to my buddy who was doing a lot of the programming stuff. So that'll all come together at some point, and I'll have something to show for you guys at some point. And I'm gonna try and upload these rambly type videos on this channel just to keep it active, because at some point I would like to not have to go to a job that doesn't pay me that much. Um, I would like to work on games full time. Time's going off. I would like to work on these games full time, and hopefully, once I finish this linear type of game, we can move on to other things. Maybe even come back to this project. Um, I know there were like maybe a handful of people probably wondering where I had gone for 9 months when I lived in Black Box. Oh god. Oh, I feel so much better now. Just a few more things. A few more things to fix. We can get back into the groove of making stuff. I'm excited, but I'm also like anxious. But yeah, I do want to upload some stuff to this channel because at some point I do want to announce some type of Kickstarter or Patreon. And this is not me like begging, or I guess it sort of is begging, but I don't want to sound like I'm a beggar or something. I have to work still make stuff, be it. But if people want to support me and make this stuff come out a lot quicker, and if people enjoy what it is that I'm making, I can definitely, I would definitely very much appreciate that. You know, because this is a passion of mine, and unfortunately, it's not paying the bills. This guy's so broken. Like, like broke all the animations. Everything's so messed up. Everything's a mess. Yeah, we'll be seeing. You'll be seeing some stuff soon, eventually, maybe, possibly, for sure, probably. For the time being, yeah, big RPG with lots of classes and skills and content. That's not really, it's not really something I can do right now. So we're going. I'll announce it right now. We're going for a linear with modes for people to also play after they beat the game. A linear survival horror game, action action survival horror. What is that genre called now? Action survival horror game, over the shoulder, gun, shoot, kill stuff. A little easier since you don't have to deal with a lot of RPG mechanics and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm going to be reusing a lot of this stuff, so keep an eye out for that. I'll be uploading more stuff, like I said. If you could subscribe or like or comment, um, it does help for the algorithms. I know this isn't for everybody, but I do appreciate it, and this is my only avenue of reaching out to other people right now, so very much appreciate it. Thanks for listening to me rant, and I gotta go to work right now. So I hope you'll have a fantastic day, and if you're like me, stay motivated, keep track of your time, and don't let your distractions become too distracting. Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.